Now, I know you will not watch this more than once, and that is why a trading room is needed so that situations here can be reinforced on a daily basis if need be. That's why, for other reasons, I have to leave here in my very rural setting. My bandwidth is .5 megabytes per second. 10 to 20 is considered, well, kind of low end. And when G5 comes in, when communists, China, whenever everything we do, China's going to be monitoring it with G5. Isn't that great? All their lives are going to be controlled by communist. Repeat, communist China. Anyways, at the moment, if I go to town, I'll get more than my dot, 5 megabytes per second. I'll be able to do a live trading room, perhaps, or something daily. Maybe on Wednesday, a teaching session or something. But, there's really not that much to teach, to suggest. Life goes on. Thousands of years of this crap. The other thing that just goes on and on and on are what you're looking at. I mean, all day long, we're bouncing between red and green, or if you want, green to red, red to green. Green's not being bought. You gotta know the signs that it's not being bought. Goes to green, green's being bought. You've got to know the signs. And it's very easy that green's being bought. Where are you going? Red. From there to there. It's being sold. You've bought, you're no longer at that price. Price moves up. Excuse me. Red. Sold. What's the pattern for it? Very simple. We'll get into that. Red to green. Green to red. No signs yet of sellers coming in. But here it starts. Okay. Go short. Where are you going? We always have a target. We always have a target. If we're in red, we're selling, and we're going to go to frickin' green. And we're in frickin' green, we're going to go to frickin' red. If red's a sale, you're not going to see this pattern at this particular moment in time. Red is up. It's being bought. Red is being sold here. And as you see this, say, okay, where am I going? Well, we're here for starters. Now, this is what I would be reinforcing in my training room, even if there's only 1 or 2 or 3. Welcome to my world. I'm so good at what I do, I have no followers now. And who knows, I'll probably use the 3 of you guys. And why? Well, because what I'm presenting is not valid. It's not of interest. And what is not of interest is the obvious fact here of that red is being sold. How do you know red's being sold? We're in red. If it's being sold, spike will be sold. Now, guess what happens when spike starts selling? It seems to pass that energy over to the center, this little thing here. So the spike is selling, and it seems to pass that energy over to the center. and the center pushes price down. Now we're in green. Buying comes in. You see the spike being bought. This price is being bought. Well, what's going to happen? It seems to pass that energy over to the center. Red's being sold is what we're dealing with at this particular price. Spike's being sold. Where's it going? Green. Green's from there to there. We're no longer here. We're here. What's happening to the spike? At the bottom of it. The spike is buying green. Repeat. Spike is buying green. We're here. We're not here. You went short here. Spike's being bought. You have to go long here. What's going to happen? For some weird reason, the center takes over. See it? Until finally the center is no longer pushing up. Why? Well, the spike is, the sellers are in the spike for red area. This price area is being sold. If so, the spike is sold, and it passes all that energy over to the center. Now, you ask, what is the center? There's a center right there. It happens to be the halfway between that and that. This center is halfway between that and that. Okay, that's what the center is. Basically stating that if the wall confines are in control, going to pass that control over to the center. The spike deals with energy closer to termination, basically between the center and this area. That's what the spike is doing. It's picking up. It's picking up the buyers at this price in green, going long. If so, spike will continue to be bought, and it will pass it all over, it seems, to the center. And this just goes on all day long. So in a trading room, there would be movies, perhaps, 2 or 3 of them. That's all that a trader could view for learning purposes. But that which is in the videos, maybe in 3 30-minute movies, that should do it. Then we'll set up a format. All things are live. I can't say buy or sell. Okay? In Canada, you have to have a license to cut hair. So, I cannot. I don't even think there's a license for this thing. So the government would shut me down, or somebody would be displeased with me and pay off somebody in the government to shut me down. Humans, that's what they're kind of like. That's what humans do. Shakespeare wrote all about it. It's part of human literature, part of the human story of being human. We're basically a bunch of assholes. Yeah. Sorry, but that's the case. But as assholes, really create something, don't we? Maybe they did go to the moon, maybe they didn't. Maybe we were going to Mars, maybe we're not. I'll tell you right now, a frog or a snake or one of these precious things that have to be saved, they didn't invent what you're looking at here. A human being did that, okay? Just saying. So what Charlie has come up with is, with his dementia, who can no longer deal with whatever is. And what you're seeing here, in fact, is a one, how can I say, chart. I don't have any overlays from anything on here. I find that confusing. All right. So what Charlie has done, he's taken things to the point where we're able to observe the turning of price in an area 100%. We're able to watch whether the buyers or sellers are in control. And we are forced to think of only two areas, red and green. If green's being bought, you'll see right to the tick, the spike will be bought. The spike will be bought. It will pass this over to the center. You don't want the center to take the frickin' thing off. But as price goes up out of our buy area, being green, we'll call it, we know as we buy where we are going, 100%. We're going to red. If red is a sale, there's red, is a sale, even a 5-year-old could probably see the fact that we're in red, between two red lines, and learn that the spike is being sold. And knowing that the sellers will be forced to sell because of the center. Now the center, as it's pushing down, as the spikes are pushing down, yeah, we got red bars. You notice I haven't mentioned the red and green bars much yet. As price is going down, where's it going? To green. You are no longer in red. You've sold. You're in green. Maybe made 20 bucks. I don't know. But you're in green. Green's being bought. You're not dealing with red at this moment here. Spike's being bought, so green is being bought. Where are you going? Very simple to learn. You're going to the frickin' red area. So the frickin' red area is from there to there. Is the frickin' red area being bought or sold? You will know 100% when this is reinforced in a trading room that red is being sold. Why? In the trading room, I could just say, well, we have a criteria for red being bought or sold. Which one is it? Is red being sold? Or is it being bought? Let's just say that. So the viewer would know, well, it's very simple. Let's say my name is Tom. I would say to myself, Tom, we're in red. If it's being bought, if it's being sold, if it's being sold, green will be sold. And you get the frickin' centers pushing down from that price area being red. Where are you going? You are going to green. From there to there, as you go short there. You're in green. In the room, we would say, all right, where are we? Are we in green or red? Seems to me we're in red. Now, we all know what it's going to look like. We are in target from our short. We are in red. We are in target. Are you seeing signs of buyers in control? Or do you see signs that sellers are in control? And those signs are related 100% as to whether the spikes are being bought or sold. So what do you think? If it's being bought, then the spike's going to be bought, right? And it's going to pass that buying activity over to the center. If it's not being bought, well, the spike's not going to be bought, and the center's going to be pushing down to in this price area. And yeah, you're going to probably get red bars. Just saying, you know what I'm saying? So as price goes down, I mean, if you bought, you have to reverse short with the backup that you know that the spike's being sold and the freaking center's pushing down at that price area. So if you sold this, you're in target. You are waiting for the signs that buyers are coming in and taking control of the spike in this area and will pass that buying on to, or that buying will be pushed up by the center. It's not happening. But you're still short. You go down in price. Where are you? You are in green. Green. Any signs right here that the spike is being bought? So as you buy with that 100% situation that the spike is going to continue to be bought. And guess what? You're buying during the red bars, but as long as that spike is being bought, you're good to go. And guess what? You're going to get some green bars. You don't have to wait for the green bars. You want to? Okay. But the spike's going to be bought if green is being bought. And it's going to push that frickin' energy over to the center. And the center is going to be pushed up. Where are we going? Sorry, red. What's happening red? Is red being sold? You know the criteria if it is being sold. Guess what? Spike sold. Oh, and center was pushing down. So you're selling. Where are you going? Very simple. Green. Can you learn that? So you're no longer here, you're here. You're going to wall here, this red stuff if you want. I mean, as you go short, you can say, well, okay, I'm going down to green, so, before I get there, what's green up to? I mean, you can do that. So as you go long in the spike here, you say, all right, I'm buying green, but it's going to the red area. So what's going on in the red area? So, you're long, whatever. It ends up to be maybe a scratch trade, only making $20 or something. But you look at what's going on in red as you're going along. Well, look, you got the spike here, you got these walls. So there's basically a chance that for now, that price area, that red area, is going to find sellers in it. Well, if so, the freaking spike's going to be sold. And then the frickin' center is going to be pushing down. So, okay, go short. So you know beforehand, as you go short, because of what's going on in red, you're going down to green. At all times. That's all you do all day long. Red, green, green, red, green, red, green, all day long. Let's say you make $50 a trade. You know how many $50 trades do you make in a 2-hour period? Probably enough to make $200 or $300. So $200 a day is 4,000. One contract, let's say a month. Okay, just saying. So you could just trade for a couple of hours a day, maybe make $400. So by the way, each trade has a tight stop. You ever think of that? I mean, if you're buying here, you would have an automatic stop here in case the computer breaks down. But if you see the spike being sold, let's say, here's a buy area. If you see the spike being sold, and let's say you went long, there's no sign at this particular point that the spike's being bought. Well, maybe there is. Maybe you decide the spike's being bought. Okay, well, the last thing you want is to see that the spike is being sold. Well, in this bar, you get a huge red bar, and it looks like the spike's being sold. So this price area is being sold, green's being sold. So you can reverse short, and you're good to go with reverse short with the stop being placed into the context that the freaking spike that better not be bought. I mean, your stop loss and stuff is small. So you're going long. Where are you going? Well, freaking red. And that's it. That is it. If you're thinking of $50 a trade, there's going to be some trades that are longer. They're going to be more than $50. So, from there to there it's $50, let's say, or something. Well, heck, you made your $50 at least, and well, you made more, but well, just consider that a bonus. You got a quota of 4 trades a day, $50 each. That's $4,000 a month win contract. So in those 4 trades, one of them may be bigger than $50. One may be $25. So anything more than $50 is a bonus. Well, it's only 25. Well, life is tough, huh? So I know that you will not watch this more than once. And that is why a trading room is required or something daily to reinforce this simple situation. Always going back and forth between red and green, green to red, red to green, and to know that green's not being bought or that it is being bought. Knowing that green's being bought, knowing this pattern, knowing that green's not being bought, although it was here. You buy here, where you're going, target red. Red's being sold, where you're going, green. The spike is not being bought in green. So you're not going long, you're going to be short. And this goes on all day long. Here you are in Chop Chop. You're in green. You buy. Where are you going? Red. You're in red. Where are you going? Green. How do you get there? Well, the spike's being bought or sold. The center's going to be pushing. Well, you're in green. Where are you going? How do you get to red? Spike is bought. Center pushes. You're in red. It's being sold. Spike is being sold. Spike, the center pushes. Where are you going? Green. Green being bought. Spike being bought. Center being bought. Where are you going? Red. Red being sold. Spike being sold. Center pushing down. Where are you going? Green. You're in green. You're not in red. You're in green. The spike is being bought. If it is being bought, you'll pass that over to the center. Where are you going? Red. You're in red. It's being sold. Spike is being sold. It will pass that over to the center. Where are you going? Green. You're in green. If it's being bought, spike will be bought. Center will be pushing up. Oh yeah, and the red will disappear. This goes on and on, all day long. You're in red. Spike is being sold. Center's pushing down. Where are you going? Green. Spike's not being bought. Center's still pushing down. Where are you going? Well, you're going down, but you're still in green, looking for a buy. Center will buy. A spike will buy, center will buy. Where you're going? Red. Here's a sale. Spike will be sold. Centrally pushing down. Where you're going? Green. You're in green. Is it being bought? If it is, spike is being bought. Centrally pushing up. Out of green. Where you going? Red. You're red, come associated with red. Is it being sold? If it is, spike will be sold. Centrally pushing down. Where are you going? You're going to green. If it's being bought, spike will be bought. Centrally pushing up. No. Your spike is being sold. And yeah, you get some frickin' red bars. So you're going down further in green. Is it being bought? Is the spike being bought? Is the center pushing up? Is the red disappearing in this price area? Where are you going? You're going to red. Out of red. What's happening? Spike is being sold. Frickin' colors are changing. And the center's pushing down. How much easier can it get? You don't even really have to think of an overlay. Because it just goes on and on and on and on all day long. Very simply, how did this run happen? But say you do not know what's going to happen. All you're doing, price is in green. It's being bought. You know that because the spike's being bought and the center's pushing up. Where are you going? You're going into red. It's being sold. Spike is being sold. Center be pushing down. Where's it going? It's going to green. Green is right here. Nice and tight. What's happening? Is it being bought? Yes. Is there a reason? Well, the wall. But it's happening. Spike is being bought. If it is, center will be pushing up. We'll be moving into red. If red is a sale, spike will be sold. It's not. Center will be pushing down. It's not. And yeah, you'll get the green bars getting smaller. You're going to get some red bars. Is that happening? No. So at this particular moment, red is being bought. I mean, you don't know that this is going to happen, let's say. But as you move on up, you say, well, I'm in red. Where am I going? Well, green. If I see this starting to happen, spike being sold and the center not pushing up much more, I mean, going sideways, whatever. So where's it going? Well, frickin' green. So at green, is this price of green being bought? Well, if it is, the center will be bought. The spike will be bought. The center will stop pushing down, and yeah, the red bars will, start to disappear because green's being bought. So are you seeing signs here that red is being sold? It's the spike being sold. It's the center pushing down. Are the green bars sort of getting smaller? Well, they're starting to get smaller here. So what's that telling you about this price area, say, which is red? So if red area is becoming a sale, well, the spikes are going to be sold, and the freaking center's going to stop pushing up. The center's going to stop pushing down out of this price range. Price range being area, the red area. And where is it going? So you know beforehand whether this price area is being bought or sold. If it's being bought, the spikes will be bought, the centers will stop pushing down, and that color of red will sort of go sideways or something and disappear at that price range in the potential buy area of green. So you're not getting that. You're getting the spikes being sold, you're getting the center pushing down, and you got frickin' red bars. So, what more can Charlie say? Why in frickin' hell do I only have 3 people still with me? There has to be a reason for that. I know it is my voice. But life is what it is. And this could be my last movie ever. You know, I'm ready to quit, but I don't think I will. I mean, when I moved out of Toronto, I said, I'm quitting. In fact, the day I left Toronto, that morning, somebody flew in from Chicago to meet me and asked me for permission to teach point-and-line charting in 1989. And I wrote on a napkin, sure, go ahead. But because I was leaving, I was just going to give up. I wasn't going to communicate, trade, or teach with people anymore. I was gone. So moved away from Toronto, and 25 years later, I'm still yakking. So maybe this is finally the time where I stop talking about point-and-line charting. So there are 3 who can continue on if I don't. And all you have to do is know very simply that all you're gonna frickin' do is move from one area to another, back and forth, all day long. And you will know whether that area, red or green, is being bought or sold. With a very 100% simple format. I mean, if you're selling, the frickin' spikes that better be sold, and the frickin' center better be pushing down, and the frickin' red bars have to sort of go green or something. You know what I'm saying? Just saying. And, yeah, it's a 32-minute movie. Life is tough. And as I say, each of you 3 will not view this movie again. And that is why a trading room is required. If I continue to, teach, or allowed by the government, Marxist government. You know, the world is fully packed with people at the top who are going to control stupid people like you and me, so they get to have, how can we say? As far as I know, in Canada, we have free health care. Well, let me tell you right now, as far as I understand, in the seat of government in Ottawa, Canada, I think people that work for the government have their own private hospital. I mean, they won't go to an ordinary hospital. That's the way it is. And that's the way it should be, perhaps, because if you end up being the king of a country, I mean, shouldn't you at least be able to wear the best suit or whatever, and have people wait on you? I mean, your responsibilities are heavy. I mean, how many, depending on where you are, people did you kill that day? I mean, you have to, it's hard being at the top of the human pile. It's not easy getting up there. Not easy. And if your children are born into it, they basically say, what the fuck? They didn't have to work to get there, so, it's the way it is. It's, it's like the red area being sold. Energy. It's that simple. It's that simple. You know 100% whether red or green is being sold or bought. That's it. So thank you very much if you have gotten to the point where you have viewed this at least once. Thank you. Thank you.